Hello everyone, day 5 already. I hope that you have gone over the words that we have seen for the past few days and you have done your revision too. Today we're going to talk about idioms because English is not only made up of vocabulary, a lot of vocabulary, but also of a lot of idioms. Okay, so before we do an exercise, the exercise is entitled Bring and Get. Take a few seconds to try and find the slide that contains it. Bring and get, verbs and idioms. Before we do the exercise, I'm going to give you some tips on how to go about acquiring as many idioms as possible and on how to remember them. Okay, the first thing that you should do is, if you see an idiom in context, for example, in a magazine, in a newspaper, or in a book, try to understand the context, and this will help you with the idiom. What surrounds the idiom? Try to understand it. Second, keep an idioms diary. I'm sure that some of you have got the diary already. For your, sometimes you just call it a notebook for your vocabulary. So it's a good idea to have a special one just for idioms. Every time you hear an idiom or read one, write it down, but then make sure that you can look it up at home in a dictionary or on the net and write it in a sentence, otherwise you will forget it very easily. Okay? Number 3, a lot of idioms can be found in songs. I'm sure that many of us like music. Okay? If you can download the lyrics, have a look at the words and find the idioms. Remember, an idiom does not make sense if you translate every word, but more if you see it as a whole expression. It is a whole expression. So don't try to translate it into French word for word because it's not going to give any meaning. Okay? And after that, try to see the idiom in your mind. Can you see the images? Many idioms are made of images. Try to imagine them, and this will help you remember them by seeing the pictures in your mind. And last thing, use the idioms you have learned in everyday life. Should you be in a certain situation, then don't be afraid to use, either in writing or in speaking, the idioms that you have just learned.